BroncoX here, and today, well, here's the problem. When you get super excited about doing modifications to your Bronco, is you end up with quite a few that are ready to go, and life gets better of you. So right here, I have my rock lights with my new switch that I'm going to be adding. Even though I've got the stock switch, I'm going to run out of ports, and then the big one today, and these just have to go on first, is going to be my Alpharex Alpha Black headlights. So taking a look around over here, what we've got is the existing vehicle. Let's pull this down here. And we're going to be showing you what installation is going to be looking like here for the Bronco. Again, super excited about this particular modification. And it's tough because I really want 2 to 4 inch lift. I want to put 35s pluses on. I've got the Bronc tie rod that I want to do. There's a whole bunch of stuff I want to do for wheeling. I've got a little bit of time before I need that. But I just, after I saw the new headlights, that became the biggest deal for me at the time. So made sure I allocated appropriately for it. So let's work on the install and we'll get started. So maybe one of the more expensive besides the speaker system that I've done, I'm just unboxing the Alpharex now. And this is the packaging that it comes in, so you can get an idea. Apologies, keep bumping into stuff here, but you get the idea of how big this is. So what you're really going to end up doing is removing these tabs, right? So you're going to be popping each one of these off. I have a tool that do that. You could just use a screwdriver, and you're gonna pop all of these off. So you've got quite a few of them here. Let's see if we can zoom back a little bit. There we go. So let's see what there's 2, 4, 6, 8, I believe, that you're going to have to pop off. And then we'll continue showing you from there. But you really want to watch me do it. Go here, and I'm going to grab my tool. And I will start popping these bad boys off. And again, the big thing to always remember is don't lose anything. Keep track of where everything's going. So these pop up like that. Let's make sure you can see that. Yeah, you can. I don't have it zoomed in, but they pop up like that. Once they're popped up, they come out just like that. So I have a little tray that I use that I keep all my parts in. Therefore, I don't lose them. It's magnetic, although it doesn't really matter with the plastic. And I just pop these guys up one by one. Let's see if we can get this one. I've done this several times, and I'm going to do it again too, because I am going to be swapping out my grill at some point in time. Yet, again, I've already added lights to it twice. Again, if you've seen my video on overlapping modifications, that is just what happens. You're going to have them. I am of the mindset that when I do overlapping modifications, that I tend to give prior modifications to my local Bronco club. And so that's what I have been doing, is posting them up and pretty much saying anybody who wants them. To be fair, I was chastised this last time because I gave away my taillights. And I guess they were worth more. The stock taillights were worth more than I thought. And so some people were like, well, we would have paid you for them, or donated money to charity. Really? I'm just subscribe to my Bronco channel. That's pretty much all I ask. So I do try to pay it forward in whatever way I possibly can. So those are always a little bit, these ones that are down at the bottom, they have a lip, so they don't come out as easy. But again, I'm kind of, I don't know, I thought I'd gotten used to this. And then if they separate like this one has, then all I do is you got to mash them up because there's a way that they go in versus a way that they don't. Oh, see, like that. And I throw them in my tray. I do have the K&N filter on here. It makes it a little bit more difficult to pull this off. The K&N filter has a little bit tighter fit than the stock blowout valve here. It's not a blowout valve. Whatever the air, it's not out. This is the in. So the bottom line is the stock one's easier to pull up, at least in my opinion, than the K&N one is, because they fit it to be tight. And I still haven't solved one of my screw issues from the K&N filter. There is a screw here that is still too big. I think I've devised a way to solve that. I'm going to use a spacer to push it down because the one that they included doesn't go in far enough, but it's on another video if you're interested in seeing it. So again, popping all these off. The other thing you have to do, and I was advised on this quite some time ago to take this off, but as you can tell, I have my hood struts. And so my hood struts, let's see if I can show you those. My hood struts, again, another video. I got the MRT, and after going through quite a few of them, I am very, very, very happy with these. They were a bear to install. Again, you can watch that install video, but now that I have those, I really don't need the hood stand that I have here. And so I can take that off, but that has to be up. So if you have hood struts, if you have hood struts, you know this already has to be up in order for you to pull this beautiful piece out. And did I miss one? Nope. It's the K&N filter thing I did. Oh, and I did. I missed one, which definitely happens. So if you feel some resistance, then check to see if you missed one. And then you just go ahead and pop that bad boy out. And again, it's they're plastic, so I keep pulling them out. I bought a replacement box of all of these, so I guess I could put new ones in now, but I know I'm going to be pulling this off here in the future, so I'll probably do it when I replace the grill. So IEG's come out with some new ones, and I'm very much looking forward to taking a look at those. So you're going to set that aside, which will be easy and great. And then we're going to go ahead and take off. I believe these are 10 millimeter. They're 10 millimeter bolts. One, two. See, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those that we're going to pull off. And then we've got the light ones to pull off as well. But so there's another one there. It looks like they're the same size, and I believe 10 or 8 millimeter. I'll tell you here in just a second. They are 10 millimeter, and so I'm just going to pull those off. Make sure that I'm using enough torque to do so. Okay, now you might have been wondering why I haven't pulled this off yet. It's just because I forgot. If you've got any type of front end, bull bar like this, you're gonna have to probably pull it off. I don't know if there's a way to get around not doing it. I can certainly try again, but in the past I have failed. You just need the room. So again, it's just a Torx, 3 on each side for this one. This was a rough country one. I like it quite a bit, with the exception of the fact that it's starting to rust in this one corner, so I'm gonna have to file that down and paint it at some point. But oh well, that just means I get to do more stuff on the Bronco. And then that just pulls out, as you can see here, once you get those 8mm. Now, this is always the one, and I forget it every single time. Not that I'm an expert anyway, but you want to make sure that you disconnect your windshield wiper and camera plug. So you've got to come in and do that. And there's a little tab on the brown one. You push that one in. The black one's always a little bit trickier, which is the washer fluid. And then I think you squeeze it in order to make that work. Yep, you do. You squeeze it from the ends, and then, see, I don't think I can get it off at this point. Oh, and my fluid is coming out, which has actually been a first, but see, it doesn't give you enough leverage to pull that completely out, and you're not going to be able to put that in right. So without causing any more problems, because if you've watched this at all, you know how much I love this vehicle. I'm going to pull off the bull bar just to be safe, at the very least. I try to keep videos short, but I also like to stop and do tricks. This is a T40 to take off the bull bar. I bought this little guy off of Amazon, and essentially it's like a mini little wrench, but it helps when you're trying to get into these spots where you don't have enough top. Now, I'm not going to sit and do this until I'm blue in the face. It'll probably just hand unscrew. Oh, it does. And then this one does too. So once you get it loose, it's pretty easy to move it forward and get it going. Now, I will say on this, just so you know, when you loosen one side, then the other side gets tight. And so right now I'm loosening the passenger side of it, and it is getting a little tight. So because it's just a pressure thing. There we go. That one will be easy with the drill bit, but I don't know, this little thing helped me a lot with the pocket lights up at the top. It's helped me a great deal. And you can use it for screws and whatnot, but it's like I don't know, it was under $20 investment. And it has saved me from swearing in my garage, which sometimes I'll just sit out and swear in my garage because things don't go, because all modifications you have to expect. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but when you're doing a modification, you just kind of just go into it expecting that things may not turn out just as they say on the video, or just as they say on the installation guide, or just as you perceive it might. There are lots of times, well, I can't think of a time when there isn't a problem in a modification, that you don't run into some type of snag, or one bolt doesn't give you problems, because it always happens. It just, I don't know what the rule is on it, but there seems to be some type of thing when you're doing modifications where something always just seems to go awry. And I have always found that to be the case with every vehicle, every time I've done it. Putting a lift kit on my old vehicle myself, which I do not recommend anybody do at any given time without the proper equipment anyway. Was probably, it will go down in history as probably the most I've sworn in a 24 hour period. So I don't know. For me, if I go into it expecting that there'll be problems, at least when the problems come up, you can do the special tongue breathing, the inhalation breath exercises or something. So yeah. Again, I probably just could have done this with a screwdriver, but now it feels like it's more effort to go put the Torx bit into the screw than it is to just do it, which is a fallacy, but nonetheless, I feel like I'm pot committed at this point in time. Cool. We got her done. Take that, put that aside, and watch the whole thing come down. And all my wiring. That was awesome. Don't do that. Learn from me. That was bad. Should have been prepared for that. And it did. It pulled off some of my wiring here. So now I got to go back and redo that, which is not going to be my favorite thing that I get to do today, but I will get that fixed. Now, I have a challenge here because I have this set up in a multi-wired environment here for the positive, and so I can't simply unplug it because I've got more than one thing to unplug. So got to figure out how to get this bad boy down, not break any anymore, right? So we're going to pull that here and put that around here. And then the beauty of having some crap and junk in the garage is that I've got crap and junk in the garage that I can use to help me out here. So we're going to put that up there and take this guy and put it there. Oh, that'll be much better. It's not sturdy. It's going to fall. Nonetheless, let's see if we can put it this way. Okay, that is at least a little bit better than it being on the ground. So if you didn't see what I did here, I just grabbed a stool and put it up over here. Right there. So I got to figure out how to use this camera where I'm not kicking it at the same time, because I can't imagine that's fun to watch. So then I believe we're back to our 10 millimeter. Let's go ahead and check these. That's a 10. That's a 10. And then there's this beautiful guy down here, which you got to pop this off in order to get to, it looks like an 8. So, and then these, you just got to be steady. If I remember correctly, pop this off. Okay. So I took off the flare on the side, and there's a 8 millimeter bolt in there that I was able to pull off, and now I'm going to pull off the nice classic. And that's exactly what you do not want to happen. Okay, well, hopefully that's why you watch my videos, because I make a lot of mistakes. I bumble through some of this stuff, and apologies. There's 3 screws, or 3 bolts that you have to take out. This one, and one down here. After I'm going to show you here in a minute how to pull the one on the bottom over here off. But then when you do that, you have to get this guy out. And I'm just going to show you. It is a pain in the butt. I think you could do it with a screwdriver, but I'm glad I have my clip removal tool, because it was a pain in the butt last time and it's a pain in the butt this time. So then you should, and we will see, maybe I failed again, we'll see, you should be able to pull this completely out. But for some reason, it feels like I'm caught in here somewhere. And to be fair, I mean, this is why the truck doesn't rattle or do any of the crap, is because it's tight. And that's kind of what you want. You want a vehicle that's built soundly, and by all means, I believe that this Bronco is. Okay, and once you get the light out like this, there's a little button. You're going to hit the tab, there's a little clip, and you got to push in on the tab before you start trying to yank it out. And that's what I am attempting to do now, and failing miserably. But it's usually not too hard to pull this out. I have done this before. Just got to make sure you're pulling in the right areas, and that you have it being held the right way. So let's try it this way. I'll show you what I mean with the close-up here in a minute. each one of these tabs seems to be a little bit different than the rest. And so there we go. I got it. And this is your old light. So as you can see here, I use the sticker fab. I'm just obsessed with the amber orange. And so I use the sticker fab on the turn signal area, and it has worked really, really well, but it is definitely time to get full-blown amber lights. Let's set this guy over here, and we'll work on putting on the new ones. And we're going to put that in. Before you do that, you have to decide if you're going to run these as white, white, white amber, or amber white, or amber amber. And the way you do that is with this little box here at the bottom. There are no instructions whatsoever. And if you noted, I did say destructions because that's what my family always used to call them. So you're going to take a screwdriver, take these 4 things out. If you want amber amber, you're going to connect the 2 wires that are not connected. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so to continue on this video, this is actually some, it's just painful stuff just because they didn't give you enough room. And I had to go inside because it's 102 degrees. But these, can I even get to it? That clip right there. And there's one other one. You have to put those together if you want amber amber. Then the Alpharex logos goes on the top. The reason I just showed you that is actually very, very difficult if you have big hands to get in there and get those moving around. So I think in the original one, they did everything off of here. And now they've kind of buried them in a little bit better. So if you're watching videos, just be aware that that is the case. I got amber, so that worked out really, really well. And this will do its startup sequence here in a moment as I put this back on. So that is what you get when you connect both of those wires. So if you don't connect both of them, depending on which ones you connect and which ones you don't, you can do white amber or white amber. Did I say that right? Amber white or white amber. But here, the startup animation in and of itself is worthwhile. Yeah, that's pretty slick. And then it goes to the... So now that's after connecting it. Make sure you connect it the right way. By the way, when you're connecting this light, if you feel like it's not going in the same way that when you pulled it out, you probably have the wrong light, like I did the first time that I did this. Now, the tricky part here is actually this lip down here. You got to get it over this piece. So you're going to pull out that piece a little bit, get that in there. And I struggled with this a little bit the last time, which is the only reason I know that. And just make sure your camera and other wires are clear out there. And then this goes up on the top of those 2 bolts up here on the top. This slides over here, and then it presses in. And I have to tell you, this is a transformational item. There's no 2 ways about it. This absolutely transforms the look and feel of the vehicle. So you got to see both lights on. There is a massive difference between the 2. Make sure you have your right screws. I'm going to put the one up in here that goes here, which is a 10 millimeter. And remember the 8 millimeter, which is this guy, is going to go down here. And so you just kind of want to have that right, because otherwise you'll get them confused, like I have in the past, and you don't want to do that. Again, you watch videos to learn installation, but so many times the mistakes aren't revealed, and that's something that I always need. Is I need to know what mistakes to try to avoid. Right? I don't always get to avoid them, but I certainly want to try to avoid them. And so I always keep the old one on because I just want to make sure I mesh up my screws and make sure that my bolts are accurate. And again, it's this guy, so it's going to go here, and then you're going to have that funky connector. So you're going to put all 4 of those in. I'm going to put the bolt that goes into this here in just a second, and push this back, and then start the other light. And that's what we do.